Hi there. And at Halloween time, when there's a million different standard horror films you can go with, the new Halloween 4Ks, for instance, the most recent stuff that's come out, the ad nauseum different types of mainstream cinema that you get, it's always interesting to go out and find yourself a nice independent little slasher film. So this is a quick video to show you just a couple ones that I really enjoyed. And let's start out with Slasher Studios, actually. So Slasher Studios is a small independent filmmaking company. They did a podcast for a while, and they've done, I think, 3 films altogether now that I know of, that I have. And I have 2 of them right here on Blu-ray, so I want to show you these right now. And first up is Don't Go to the Reunion. Now remember, these are regional horror, independent, micro-budgeted, but lots of fun, and people that have a lot of heart for doing these films. I really like this. Every one of these Slasher Studio releases, if you're lucky enough to get them, comes numbered. This is 159 of 200. Feature-wise, on here we got audio commentary, we got interviews with the filmmakers, interviews with cast and crew, all 3 Slasher Studio short films that were made that pretty much, to get them ready to make the feature film. There's audio featurette, which is probably a podcast on here. Tribute to 80s slashers. There's never before seen photo galleries, a bunch of stuff. What is it about? Well, I'm just going to read you the back because it's been wall, and I kind of dig this one, but I wanted to get this one right. So Scott Ranson is a horror movie loving misfit who's teased by the popular students in school. On a date with a very popular and very beautiful Erica Carpenter, backfires. He feels as though his life is ruined. 10 years later, the gang reunite for the class reunion. Little do they know that someone is waiting for them and ready to see that they pay for what they did. Is Scott back for revenge, and will the old gang survive to tell the tale? It'll be more gore for the class of '04. Fun little one, and actually probably my favorite one that they put out so far that I have is Irrational Fears. Irrational Fears is a really fun little title. We got 2 commentaries on here, one of the cast and crew and one of the filmmakers. We get deleted scenes, interviews, What's Your Fear featurette. We got an episode of their podcast, /Studios podcast, theatrical trailer, indie horror trailers, which is actually kind of cool, and a photo gallery. Pretty much the tale of 6 therapy patients brought together at a secluded cabin to confront their strangest fears. Little do they know that their fears are about to become a killer reality. You gotta admit, they did do good summaries for these films on the back here. I did really enjoy and have a lot of fun with both the Slasher Studios films, and I do recommend them. Next up is a Massacre video release, and it's a fun one from Don Dohler. I know you've probably heard the name from Night Beast from the Vinegar Syndrome release, and if you're lucky enough to have this one, kudos, you get cool points in my book. If you don't, it's one that I recommend you check out, especially if you're a Don Dohler fan or you're a fan of regional horror, micro-budgeted releases, that type of thing, because this is Fiend, and Fiend is a cool little title. It is a supernatural thriller. Just think of it like Dorian Gray as a serial killer, sort of. Basically, this guy comes back from the dead, and he has to kill to remain back from the dead and remain, well, relatively normal looking. Because if he doesn't, then the fiend truly starts to look fiendish. It's an interesting little title, and of course, as always with Don Dohler films, he's casted like friends and family in roles, and that's, sometimes to the detriment of the acting, but it actually usually turns out better in the end because you're going to have a blast watching it. This is a slip box, so it does come out, and you do get a alternate artwork right here, which is really cool. There are some great features on the Fiend as well, by the way. We got a brand new 2K scan from the original 16mm AB roll, brand new audio commentary, a archival interviews with some of the actors, with Don Dohler and Kim Dohler, Pfeiffer. We got 8mm shorts from Don Dohler on here, Mr. Clay, which is kind of fun, Pursed Horse from the ID, and To Die or Not to Die. There's a blooper reel on here as well, and there is an Easter egg, but you got to find that yourself. And the only way to find it is to grab this one here, Fiend, from Massacre Video. Now, the biggest company one the biggest company that's showing up on here is Synapse. This is Synapse, right? Did I get this right? No, it's Scorpion. I got it wrong. There you go. But am I going to edit this out? No, because I'm going to let you know I get things wrong all the time. But you know that if you watch my channel. Anyway, this is The Unseen with Barbara Bach. This is a really cool little film, and it's just kind of a basically she's a newscaster. She comes into town to do a report, and they end up like not having a place to stay, so they go to this boarding house, and the unseen is watching. The unseen is stalking. The unseen can see them. Feature-wise on this film, we get a bunch of stuff, including stuff from ex TNA and WWE wrestler on here who became Katrina from Katrina's Nightmare Theater. She was Winter in TNA. There's a brand new anamorphic 1.78 widescreen HD master of the film. You can watch this in Katrina's Nightmare Theater format, where she does introductions in, or you can. There's an on-camera interview with her talking to producer Tony Unger, an audio commentary with Tony Unger and Stephen Furst, who is very important in this film, by the way. On-camera interviews with Stephen Furst, Doug Bard, Craig Reardon, Tom Berman. Tom Berman did some incredible effects, and correct me if I'm wrong here, and you guys can correct me definitely down in the comment section down below. But I think Tom Berman might have worked on Halloween 3. I think he worked on Halloween 3. Makeup test, among many other things, but that's what's sticking in my mind right now because the 4K is out. Makeup test slides, sketches, behind the scenes, stills, just a bunch of stuff here, and a really cool release. Definitely recommend it. Next up are two from Slasher Studios. If we're going to talk slashers, we may as well talk Slasher Studios. One of those is one which has Tracy Lords in an early role before she went on to become like super popular. Well, she was popular, but before she became really big in mainstream popularity, and that is Shock 'Em Dead. This is actually a really cool film. It's a supernatural slasher. It's kind of like Sell Your Soul for rock and roll era slasher. So basically, there's a whole genre of like basically selling your soul for rock music or for the girl, basically. But this is the rock and roll slasher ones, and this is a really, really good one. Actually, ironically enough, Tracy Lords, who had done a lot of like nudity and like unfortunately when she was underage, so all those thankfully are destroyed in adult films, was the only girl in this film not to go naked, and I respect her for doing that. You know, she'd already been through that whole era of her life, and she's kind of moving on. Now, that being said, there's a ton of nudity in this from all the other female cast members. You were not lack for any of that type of stuff. It's a really cool release. We get a commentary from the director, interview with the director, a cast reunion done in 2015, a director's cut, deleted and extended scenes, actor auditions, behind-the-scenes photo gallery, cast revisits, audition tapes, cast views and comments on deleted scenes, Shock 'Em Dead trailer, poster and art gallery. And I will say this, like as all these here, like this is, you know, done from a not exactly, you know, a pristine type OCN type of release, but they do the best job that they can, and I really think it's a cool release and worth owning. As is this one here. Now this one has another one. If you're in the UK, you can probably grab the Arrow edition of this one there. This one is again another supernatural slasher, and a bit insane. I mean, it's really insane. There's a whole big like fantasy sequence that is totally put in there just to add gore to the film, and that is Satan's Blade. Pretty much it starts out with a robbery that goes it goes pretty right until there's a bit of a twist and a bit of a backstabbing, and eventually there are some knife twists and just a bit more. Can you find out who's holding Satan's Blade? Maybe you can. You probably can. But it's a fun watch. Trust me, I like it. On this one here, we have a director's narrative with the director and I guess one of the people on it, like Scott Castillo and Jesus Terran. Remembering Satan's Blade director's interview, that's a really different interview. I'm not sure if it's like being somebody that's on Slasher Video or if that was like somebody that was related to him that was doing it at the time. It's a really strange interview. But trust me, you will not forget it. Photo gallery, scrapbook, Dutch home video scene, Japanese home video scene, trailers, and there's a Satan's Blade 2, which was never made. It's a fan trailer, but isn't that a lot of fun? And let's end out the video the way that we started it. I was lucky enough to meet the people that made this film. back a few years back when I went to I think my second convention, my first horror convention. So this is a little slasher that you may know called Orphan Killer. It was pretty much like promoted through the internet. A lot of this was a Facebook promoted like slasher film. It is ultra gory. It stars the extremely beautiful Diane Foster, and I can actually say that because I did meet her in person, and trust me, she looks gorgeous in this, but it doesn't even come close to how beautiful the lady is in person, and not just that, but how amazingly sweet and nice she is. I got to meet the director, Matt Farnsworth, and of course, I think it was the guy that played the Orphan Killer underneath the mask. But you never know. How much did I enjoy this film? Well, this film is a little bit different, a little bit special because this is the original edition of the film, as you can tell. But there's a new edition of this that came out with a big documentary. So I really actually literally had to re-buy this film again down the road. What this thing did come with, however, that I really enjoy, if you like metal music, is it comes with the Orphan Killer soundtrack. And it comes with 14 songs right there. And there are, trust me, they're heavy metal songs. You got everything here from like, you got Bullet Tooth, we got First Blood, we have Affiance, Asking Alexandria, Deception of Ghost, A New Revolution, This for the Apocalypse, Most Precious Blood, A Bullet for a Pretty Boy, Dawn of Ashes, First Blood, Born of Osiris, No Bragging Rights, and OGOD. So, there you go. And I didn't just buy the movie, as you saw at the beginning of the video. I bought an original Orphan Killer mask that was made by the director before these became mass produced. So, I think I hear a noise outside, and I gotta go check it out. So anyway, hopefully you're having a great Halloween month. Be happy, be healthy. It doesn't cost a thing to be kind, so be kind to others and be kind to yourself. Here in the Cult of Cinema, there's always another movie, and it's time for me to be a little unkind. See you soon.